Hey guys, welcome to Boston Institute of Natural Medicine Classroom Series. We are in Unit 7, Quantum Evaluations. In today's video, we'll be looking at what exactly is quantum medicine, what are the operating principles of quantum medicine, in other words, how does it work? We're going to be looking at devices used in evaluations, what does an evaluation look like, or what does it entail, and finally, who should do this assessment. So, let's go ahead and do just that. All right, guys, so welcome to Unit 7, Quantum Evaluations, the power of energetics. And I'm excited to do this course because in this particular course, basically it represents some of the tools that I use. So let's go ahead and go right into that. So we've already gone over our overview. So in this class, we're going to be looking at what is quantum medicine, the operating principles of quantum medicine. We're going to be looking at the devices used in evaluation, what does an evaluation look like, and finally, who should do this evaluation. So what exactly is quantum medicine? Quantum medicine is a new branch of medicine that provides quick, painless, and non-invasive assessments for the whole body and treatment of diseases in all areas of medicine without radiation or experiencing adverse effects. As a qualitatively new and modern approach in healthcare evaluation and therapy, quantum medicine is based on the discovery of biological resonance, and its uses. It's also based on the knowledge of Eastern and Western medicine, quantum physics, biophysics, and electronics. So all of those principles are merged into what exactly is quantum medicine. Quantum medicine is a holistic medicine that restores as well as keeps the whole body in a state of balance. We call this state of balance health. It has a separate individual approach for each individual, and there are absolutely no side effects and non-invasive, tests have to be done. We examine and we treat the whole person, not just their diagnosis, not just what they present to us. So, quantum medicine is a very holistic approach. I believe that it's really where science merges with traditional medicine, which is really the motto of Boston Institute. And so it really, for me and for us here at Boston Institute and for Hallelujah Lifestyle Wellness Center and all the different health arms of what we do, quantum medicine really represents the merger of modern science with holistic knowledge. And so all of what we are doing through quantum medicine was possible in Eastern medicine through different forms of energy healing, but now science has created devices that has captured the essence and the principles, the underlying principles of those practices, and they have put them into modern equipment that we can now use to make our assessment. What are the principles behind the machine, behind quantum medicine? Well, each cell in our body represents an electromagnetic unit. As a result of biochemical processes it it emits. Each cell in the body produces a specific electromagnetic wave, which is of an ideal frequency. So the formation of disease occurs when that ideal frequency changes due to the effects of external and internal factors. So let me just read it again because there's a helicopter passing by. So each cell in the body represents an electromagnetic unit as a result of biochemical processes in it. So that cell basically emits a specific electromagnetic waves of an ideal frequency. We'll talk more about that. The formation of diseases occurs when that ideal frequency changes due to the effects of external and internal factors, which also change the biological or the biochemical processes in it. And so when we put persons, for example, on the quantum analyzer, each cell in our body has what is called a particular electromagnetic frequency, and that electromagnetic frequency is in the ideal frequency of health, or it may be in an unideal frequency that expresses that the cell is in a particular disease state. The development of a disease is not immediate, and that's what a lot of persons don't understand. It has about 4 stages. The first 2 phases are the informational phases that leads to the second, the energy phase. So basically, the informational phase is where the cells of the body are giving you information that this is where I'm trending, this is where I am going. And which brings us to the second stage, which is when that information now becomes an energy, and that energy basically starts to now create manifestation. And that manifestation becomes obvious, noticeable changes, which is the third phase. So only in the third phase we notice obvious changes in the laboratory exams. And in the fourth phase, we have an already clinically evident disease, which often requires lifelong medication therapy. Preventing the initial dysfunction in the first 2 phases from developing into disease is the goal in quantum medicine. So the medicine basically is for prevention. So what we ideally want to do is use the machine to identify the cells in its information stage, in other words, where the body is trending to, where a particular organ is trending to. And what we want to do is we preferably want to avert that. All right. So because months and years before development of psychosomatic diseases, there is already information in the body in the form of electromagnetic cell disorders, so we can predict and prevent diseases. So quantum medicine basically more so allows us to prevent rather than to treat, which is why we recommend and encourage persons to, your health is your responsibility. Come in, let us do the assessment. Don't wait until you're in the third and the fourth stage, which is obvious changes in the body and obvious disease, a disease state that the body is in. We want to see you in the information stage, which is pretty early, where the body is trending, and in the second phase, where the energy begins to now gather for the change to start taking places. This is where plant medicine is phenomenal, and other natural therapies are phenomenal in averting or reversing disease. And we talk about all diseases can be reversed. When we talk about it, 90% of the time that it is easy to be reversed is in its information stage and also in its energy stage. When it reaches the fourth stage, which is the obvious, not just symptom, but disease state, it can be reversed, but it's going to take more time and it's going to take more resources. And so a lot of persons lose faith because what they have done is wait for the disease to reach its end stage. In some instances, there's pain, there's discomfort, and what persons want is a quick fix. So the principle behind the machine basically is to identify disease in its early stage so that it can be reversed and done so effectively. So, which devices in the field of quantum medicine are used for health evaluation and which ones are used for therapy? So, on your screen, you are seeing 2 images. I'm going to explain what these images are. The most powerful devices in the field of quantum medicines are bioresonance and thermovision scanners for assessment purposes, and microresonance and Richter therapy for therapeutical purposes. So, Hallelujah Lifestyle Wellness Center embarks on bioresonance. It's unique in its assessment approach because only in our centers we provide a combination of bioresonance and thermovision scanners for the whole body examination. So what you're seeing are 2 images. This is a 3D image of a bioresonance um, uh, assessment tool, and this is an image of a thermal vision scanner. And the thermal vision scanner basically is a camera that takes a picture of the body, but what it represents is a thermographic image of what the body looks like. And of course, we'll talk more about that, guys. But those red spots are indicative of inflamed areas that we need to focus on. So what does an exam by a quantum medicine practitioner look like? What exactly is entailed in an assessment? So the examination begins with an anamnesis, which is basically a client's account of their medical history. So we have a form, and I'll send you a copy of the form just for you to see what it looks like. Uh, and that form includes a conversation with the client, insight in their health, symptoms, and complaints, as well as past medical history. This is also followed by an objective part of the examination, where the practitioner or the neuropsychiatrist examines the clients and evaluates their physical and mental condition. Their blood pressure is taken, blood sugar is taken, sometimes long auscultations, conversation with the clients, so that he or she can examine their psycho-emotional state as well. So for me personally, my goal is to get persons comfortable. So, but while they're coming in, while the minute the person steps into my office, I basically start to evaluate their physical appearance. I start to look at their physical appearance, their neck, their hands, their fingers, their face, looking for any form of abnormality. Then I'll strike up a discussion. I'll strike up a discussion around the topic that the client would be most comfortable with to get them to relax. Also, I use the opportunity just to find out, little things about them that will help me to file them and to remember them better. So I'll ask them questions like how long they've been married. Most people are comfortable talking about those topics. Most people are comfortable talking about their children, their grandchildren, that type of things. Just create discussion to make them more comfortable, to break the barriers down. Sometimes those questions will give us insights into their mental state of mind, their spiritual state of mind. All of those questions are designed to be evaluation. So the evaluation does not begin when you put the client on the machine. The evaluation begins the minute the client steps through the door, looking at their physical appearance and then striking up discussions to find out about any possible challenges or stresses or issues that they will be having at work, with their family, at church, wherever. All of this comes into play because we look at a person holistically. All right. So the examination begins with that. This is followed by testing through the quantum magnetic analyzer scanner, which, after computing process, shows from the earliest phase the state of all organs and systems in all stages of the disease. So the next thing is to go ahead and do the assessment. And after the examination, the practitioner examines all the results and then explains to the client in detail the overall condition of his or her body and proposes further therapy if necessary. Sometimes we will recommend that they do pap smear, just to get second opinion, blood tests, ultrasounds. We don't, and I should say that quantum medicine is considered to be, by mainstream, it is considered to be a pseudo practice. So we can't use words like evaluation, we can't use words like diagnosis. It's not, we can't use it as a diagnostic tool. We use it as an evaluation or an assessment tool. So we have to be careful about the terms that we use here. And it's also very important that we go through, we avoid certain terms, and we'll go more in depth when we do the unit on what we call jurisprudence. All right. So basically, once you do the assessment, because as I said, it's the goal is to look at what's happening in the body, from the earliest stage to the disease state. And of course, we do recommend blood tests, we do recommend ultrasound, we do recommend all of these other imaging, because the quantum is not an imaging device, right? It's not an imaging device. What it does is that it gives us data. And so sometimes to get confirmation, we will send them to get these specific tests. But once the quantum evaluation is completed, the goal now is to sit with the client and to give detailed explanation as to what is happening. Because remember, the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. And what we don't want to do is to replace what Western medicine is doing by taking the power out of the client's hand and putting it into the practitioner's hand. In the same natural medicine, in natural medicine, our goal is to empower clients, is to educate them, is to guide them. The word doctor comes from the word doctrine, which means to teach. Our primary function really is to teach and to guide. It is to guide persons, the clients, in making the decisions. Our job is to give them the most informed information that we can give them. But our job really is to help them to make a choice. And that choice includes whether they want to use a natural approach, or whether they want to use a conventional approach, or whether they want to use a merger of both. We also encourage clients to talk to their physicians about what they're doing, and also, where possible, to set up a collaboration between what we are doing, again, in addition to what their physician is doing. So, because at the end of the day, the idea or the goal is for the client to be in good health. Right? So that's basically what the beginning evaluation will look like. And the examination can last anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on the client, depending on what's happening in the room, that type of thing. What do we obtain through examination with quantum medicine? Examination through the bioresonance and the thermal vision scanners includes assessment of the whole body. So all the internal organs, the bone, the joint system, the complete circulation system, and innervation, testing for the presence of allergens, bacteria, viruses, fungus, parasites, as well as client's psycho-emotional state. All of that is looked at. This examination provides insights into the client's complete health condition. We can identify a predisposition for certain diseases and assess already established diseases. Furthermore, we can suggest the best possible therapy. So the quantum assessment basically allows us to be able to examine all of these parts of the bodies, and in addition, it allows us, most importantly, to identify the predisposition. Where exactly is the stomach health heading? Where exactly is the cardiovascular health trending to? Where exactly are the nervous system trending to? So it allows us to identify predispositions for certain diseases, so we can know when a person is trending towards becoming diabetic, trending towards becoming hypertensive. And we can already assess established diseases in the body, and then we can suggest what are the best possible therapies for those persons. What exactly is assessed through quantum medicine? So we examine the head, the neck, the thorax, the heart, the lungs, the thyroid glands, the breast, the gastrointestinal tract, which include the esophagus, the stomach, the small and large intestine. These are examined without invasive diagnostic methods such as gastroscopy and colonoscopy, as well as urogenital tract, the bone system, the complete circulatory system, as we just said, and the innervation. We can detect the presence of bacteria, viruses, parasites, allergen medicines that the clients brings with them are tested as well. And special segment of this exam is the food intolerances. So we can look at what the person is allergic to. And of course, this is completely invasive. There's no blood being taken. Persons don't have to remove any clothing. All of this is done non-invasively and in a very comfortable setting. All right. We can qualitatively determine blood count and biochemical changes without taking blood samples. And of course, this is for some machines. Some machines have more capabilities. Some machines have more range than others. My machine, for example, the other ones that we have are able to do these, but we know of other machines. Some present their images in 2D, some in 3Ds. So it depends on what you're doing, but they're all based on the same technology. Who exactly can be examined through a bioresonance and thermal vision scanner? So the bioresonance and thermal vision scanners are applicable for all ages. Children and pregnant women, is safe enough for them. It is necessary for the client to cooperate children's ages 7 and up, and to be able to stand still for about 10 minutes during the examination. Some machines have different ranges as to what age children it will actually assess and what are the ranges of assessments that it will do. Some machines will do very limited scope of assessment, some more extended scope. Some will allow children age 7, some will allow children age 12, some will allow children age 13. It depends on the machine that you're using. We do encourage that persons don't eat 2 hours before to get an accurate assessment. Uh, we don't want to do an assessment of a body that has food that the machine will give us improper reading. For women that are having menstruation, for persons wearing any form of pacemakers, those persons would not be eligible for using this device. Women that are in their menstrual cycle, because the body is off balance, it wouldn't give us a true description of what is happening in the body. So those are persons that would not be eligible for an assessment. All right. And again, there are different types of devices. This is a 3D device. It's a 3D device. I want to apologize for the helicopter in the background, but this is a 3D device that is being used here, that has a headgear. Some use armbands, some use wristbands, some use finger devices that scan the pulse. Some use scans the eye. Some are handheld devices that scan the blood. There are different variations of them, and it's depending on what you're comfortable with and what your budget can allow. How much does whole body diagnostic um, uh, how much does whole body diagnostic through quantum medicine cost? Um, Diagnostic through quantum medicine replaces multiple specialist exams, various testings, and laboratory analysis. While there are no radiation, adverse effects, and no side effects, this unique system provides the client with the best choice of therapy. Quantum medicine therapy and homeopathy, herbal therapy, and those are the different therapies that would be applied after doing an assessment. Um, when we sum up all the examinations that we would need to do at various specialists in order to be examined completely, we come to a conclusion that one such examination is very affordable and accessible to retired people and people with low income. The incomplete price list for quantum medicine serves in our clinic can be found. And so basically, I'm not going to put a price out there, but what I can say to you is that what we charge, we always bear in mind what a person would pay for differential and in some cases multiple assessments. We bear that in mind, and what we try to do is to arrive at a price that is comfortable and affordable for the average person. All right. So that may vary from city to city, from country to country, from overheads. There are many factors that determines that what that can cost, and also because the quantum machine does so many assessments. The complete price list for quantum medicine services in our clinic can be found on our website, because what you can actually do is instead of doing an assessment to do the entire body, you can, for example, do the gynecological part of the assessment. Depending on the person's budget, you can do the urological, you can do the digestive, depending. But what we do is that we just give a complete assessment, because we want persons to know exactly what's happening so that they can um, take immediate remedial action as soon as possible. All right, so that is unit 7. That is unit so that is unit 7. If you have any questions, I hope this tutorial was informative, and we will deal with all the questions that you have in our face-to-face live session. All right, until our next video.